And a CT start for Imperial on the defense of Inferno, our first of this best of 3, Chad.
They're going to be licking their lips with this. I think the Des broke that down quite nicely, and we can dig more into the video conversation throughout this game. But Vinny, he wants to get stuck in initially. Here's some peppering down mid as 3. Trundle silently up through second mid from Order.
A lot of doubt for the Oceanic squad, 3.68 the odds against them. And setting up, so this is clearly something you've discussed. You talked about this morning in the elevator and how you're going to start off this best of 3 on Inferno.
This smoke could be perfect here from Alistair. Let's see how it disrupts Vinny and FNX setup.
You can see there's going to be ins to try and use that, utilize that, and a flash to shy them away from the fight. Now, they are considering a pop.
Yeah, so this is a short smoke. It's going to be noted from FNX and Vinny that something has been deployed. But as they're going to come out halls, are they worried about this arch wrap? They will have to...
Look how much space.
Yeah, this is the thing, though. Inz is knowing that this long side is open. Do they change the strategy here?
That's what he's been pre-aiming. FNX has been forced off. The flash misses FNX, but there's the bullet, and both of the A defenders drop.
You can see how perfect that was, because Inz had all the info, and now he has all the fights. 1 shot onto Fall, and he hits the deck in 2 to find his fur, and Bolts think, maybe we save. That was great stuff from Order, and I didn't think we'd be saying that on the pistol round here, because they are up against it. The headline of this... Oh, well... The headline of Alistair is in the library right now, but the headline of this matchup is at least someone will win, because both of them have a sea of red in their results, right? And one is a little bit more stark than the other. Order, as Blair has mentioned, have had a difficult time since this roster has come together, getting wins against anybody other than home soil opponents, and even mentioned that Tyloo don't even really count because they're having a rough time of things as well. I think everybody would be looking to Rare Adam as being the team to be the flagship of, well, Asian and maybe even Oceanic Counter-Strike at the moment with their performance just in Valencia not that long ago. But from Order here, this is a great start, and this is a great time for this match to be on prime time, down under. All the mums, all the dads, they'll be watching, they'll be cheering their boys on, because this would be the time in the new colors for them to finally break on through and get a victory. And this is a good opponent to do so against, right? Imperial, they're big names, but they're beatable.
I mean, not only beatable, I mean, you're going to be making yourselves proud beating and knocking out a team like this with the history they have. This is going to break FNX's undefeated Cologne run.
Exactly, and this here could break Order. These are the type of rounds where they stumble on over, and a tag early could be an issue. FNX, the man in question, does cop a nade down the gullet. 42 points of health remaining here, but Order must convert a round like this.
Yeah, I think Fallen not happy with his 3-man gamble towards B, and that pistol immediately finds himself on towards Long, and a bullet into his boob. That will hurt.
Hoping to see a bit more confidence out of the Order players here today. And I don't mean unbridled, just silly maneuvers. I mean getting stuck in when they know they should.
What's Hats cooking up here? He's hoping to catch someone on that jumped up box, but Stacknade's there. No one present. Bolts is going to be moving his mouth and keeping tabs on this execute.
This B-bomb site is the issue here. 2 Famises were upgraded because of the saved Kevlar from pistol, so Order need to be careful, need to scout this out, need to make sure they don't overcommit into these upgraded rifles.
That's 2 CT smokes. They both pull them out. They're going to be very limited on resources, but they're pushing through. Off the flash, Fur is there. There's a lot of tracer fire. They can't find him. It's Bolts to go down, up to Fur, needs a fresh mag, and Fallen cancels his plans of the flash.
Wave this one off, get him out, save again. That was fantastic. Just get in, get the single kill, and Imperial not in the position to go for that fight. So Order are going to get away with this one here. And that was practically going up against a gun round on B because it was 2 Famises, right?
I mean, not only that,
this is a scary round.
They even straight up committed through the only utility that was left. I mean, this is Hats, ballsy. 60 seconds and he's on his way through.
Yeah, you bang on there. The time here and seeing a team stick to their guns like this is pretty crazy, but it pays off and it's good if Hats can get activated early. This is one of the guys who, in Australia, tends to have good performances more often than not. It'd be great to see him really find his footing overseas, but I could have that conversation about every member of this Order lineup.
But do you not swell with pride when you see, you know, like Yanko's school of Counter-Strike being employed, when you've got banana control and 5 are alive, just exec, just hit the exec, and they did, they smashed it.
Yeah, look, and it's in a riskier environment, right, against a force buy like this. So now saved armor into the Famises, into a save again. So a 3rd round of issue for Order to get past here. How do Imperial want to deploy their forces? Maybe something with a little bit more, I want to say less standard, you know, try and take the fight to Order here. Use these upgraded guns that you've got going, a little bit of utility to see if you can find a jab, and Fallen might do that with the scout middle here.
He's going to give it a good go. Yet to see his name in the feed, 1 death to his name, but nothing lethal from his side, and he is going to get an opportunity, at least on the jiggle.
They know this is saved, right? You're well aware of a few of them.
Ooh, that's the end of that.
It was saved. Operative word.
Yeah, and past tense applied. It's going to be Vinny rotating into B, but already the hopes of Imperial finding anything into round 3 have faded away with the lights in the eyes of Bolts and Fallen.
Just some kills would be great now, like one. You know, if Vinny just grabs one and dies, that's fine. You know, if FNX can get a little bit of damage here early as well, that's all you're looking for. This isn't a round now that you're down in a 3v5 disadvantage situation that you would be looking to convert, but another smoke deployed, still plenty of time on the clock. And not only that, look at all the nades that Order have here, right? They're doing this with the bullets so far. If they wanted at any moment in this round, they can execute with multiple smokes, flashes, and even Molotovs.
Fallen, when asked and pressed by Freya in the interview as to what was going wrong on Inferno, he talked about the T side. He talked about their defaults. We're on the CT side for Imperial now, so if this is a strong start for Order here, it really could be a catastrophe waiting to happen in the series. Full blind, Vinny hunted, it's Hats again. Good for it in combination with Sicko. Good connections on the USP. Hats lives on though, and already the round is a certainty. A lock in, the FAMAS preservation secure as FNX does round the corner, but a third consecutive off the break goes the way of the Aussies.
And you'd say clean. You would definitely say clean. No one's going to be arguing with that. Only one kill in the first 3 rounds for Imperial here, and it's likely to stay that way as FNX will park the bus over towards this arch side here. Now, if you're Order, this is a dream. You get to keep these Galils, you keep the FAMAS, you don't need to upgrade. You can play another rifle round with this very handedly. And this is one of the situations, as Mario was talking on the desk, how they tend to, you know, maybe not take the key areas of the map that you will be seeing in the European meta. In a bonus round like this, you can actually, oh, there goes FNX, get away with a bit of a set piece or something early, and you can set the tempo in a game like this. So this is the environment where you don't mind seeing those plays, but as the half develops, we want to see if they can find their fitting and find their form. Something a bit more traditional.
And it can be difficult from the outside perspective looking in to understand what separates some of the teams they're watching over the course of this event. For Order, it's not a question of individuals, is it? I mean, these guys can hit heads.
Yeah, so this is the thing. Same with China, right? Same with a lot of these different regions where the individuals in terms of actually shooting, no dramas whatsoever. It's about your understanding of what you need to do within these situations.
And those 5 ever-changing puzzle pieces that you're moving and combining with your opponent, that's what makes the game beautiful, but that is the separating factor. It's Bolts with a spray down on towards Bananas. Gets Hats eventually in the war of attrition. Little chip damage on the nade back. They are maintaining, at least battling for this control of Banana this time. It's further standing and confirming. You can see the flash being cocked by Bolts in order to reactively support his teammate.
Well, they do have Liaz over towards Boiler right now. You can see him probing, and Fallen's AWP trained and ready for this. So if Liaz picks without a flash, without some form of assistance, he's likely to go down, but Fallen backs off for the rest of the troops for Order here, start to march up mid.
Yeah, there's a couple more nades to come. There's the smoke up towards alongside, denies information that no one was looking for.
Well, you can hear the other Brazilians through our mics right now. MRBR versus Tyloo on that B stream. Look at this hard rotation. Banana's being called clear. Bolts, FNX getting a move on to back up Fallen and Vinny over towards A. Ints has now just returned. 40 seconds left.
It's a very well-timed smoke. You can see that's going to just sow some seeds of doubt.
Yeah, and I'm not quite certain just yet where this round's going to end. Ints has thrown a little bit of light util Banana, and now he's making his way back up. So it will be the A finish. Has to be the A finish with 28 seconds left.
Oh, look, there is Bolts moonwalking back to B. They've done it. It is going to be a fair fight. 4v3. Advantage T's. Fallen onto the site. They drop in and immediately levels the odds is Vinny. Int and Sicko claw on back. It's all up to Vinny, and a double may not be sufficient. They are in, and the bomb will go down in time.
Rotation here from Fur very, very late. Need to start punching in the digits, but Ins with the AWP takes the peak as the bomb's getting planted, and it's just Fur left to his lonesome here. Yeah, 1 on 2.
Bummed. What's he got here? He is going to have a little look in, try and just ignite this Imperial machine. It's up to Liaz. It will get awkward for Ins. Crosshairs there, info 2, the first comes in, Fur's got time, no kit though, a 10-second defuse, Ins has got the AWP, it's not the weapon for the job, he baits the shot, Fur, a couple more seconds on it, last fight, baits the shot, pistol out, headshot found, and enough time on the clock, Fur.
No, he doesn't. He's out. He's picking up the AWP.
Brutal.
He's hightailing it. The fact that Ins in that situation stays reserved, you can see the big grin on his face. Kingfisher, the coach, too, with a bit of a smirk. They're going to pull that one off.
I love this new kit. It's very retro, very, very football in the 90s.
Gomez will be loving to hear that there, Alex.
Is that part of his handiwork?
Yeah, he's down here working for Order now. One of the big dogs on campus in Australia right now is Mog. But this fight right here, I can't believe that he stayed tucked with the AWP. This is a situation where you'd expect a player to panic, right? It doesn't matter what player, a player to panic. So In's there. Again, we get that reaction. Big one to win, but AWP retained. And another threatening round. Imperial have always had something.
No doubt about it. I mean, especially with Fallen on the AWP, they might want to set him up with this boost. You can see Mantle's Fur has a glimpse. No one home. Alistair's been trying it intermittently. Sicko's the one to bring the fight. Alistair does get caught by Fallen eventually.
What's the reaction though, right? AWP noted, kill comes in, 4-on-4. Do you quickly try and take this banana control? Another nade, so they know that close short presence is still there. Looks like Order are just going to soak this one in and take their time. They have the weapon and utility advantage, but not the HP advantage here as Sicko is brought down to 1. Bogdan's Law comes into play, and it's a 2-2 split from Imperial that they have to deal with here. The Brazilians looking to snatch one away from Order. Okay, so how do you break this banana defense? Let's find out. Hats is leading the pack in a 5-7. Not the weapon for the job. Fur maybe, though. Close clutch, last round goes away, and so does that spray. He gets one. And into the site, Fallen, oh, he's looking his old self with a strafe and the anti-flash, but it is all just smoke and mirrors, quite literally. As the smoke arrives CT, Fallen confirms no one home, and that rotates FNX over to respond to A. Yeah, responding with just a deagle here. We'll have to block them top mid, but Smoke's going to do exactly that to him. Here's them bounding by, a push on a timing. Could be FNX's play, but In seems to have sniffed this one out.
Jesus, he has just caught the perfect window. All their backs are turned. It's only the Deagle. Info aplenty. Spotley has towards the pit side. Fallen perhaps to be the distraction. Sicko low, vulnerable to these 50 caliber Deagle rounds. It's up to Inns, gets his first chance. And that'll do nicely. A 5-0 start here on Order's pick.
Now, this is traditionally where it would start going wrong for an underdog team like Order. A great start. The game plan's gone well. You've hit a couple of nice shots. You've had a big play from Inns to confirm you the first gun round. But now we're into the second gun round. Are you going to start chopping and changing things? Do you start going for something, you know, that's going to be counted at this point of the game? And this is curious because this, for Imperial, is not the start that you were looking for. We saw the massive hold they started with against Outsiders just yesterday. In the tail end of the half, they started to bring it back, but the start was very, very bleak. I think it's going to get on the board. Yeah, it's going to be very bleak if they don't. I think that T side was very uninspiring yesterday on this very map. And, you know, this conversation about the veto, it being a bit of a foot fault before the first bullet was fired, well, that could be wiped clean if you have a dominant performance here on that pick. Yeah, I was coming in this morning thinking the only map that Order would have a chance on here today was going to be Vertigo, and Imperial went and floated Ancient, and then Order didn't have the balls to pick Ancient for the punish, and that right there has left us with a bit of Inferno into Mirage and then Nuke as the third if we need it. Which is why Maui was foaming at the mouth that Imperial got their top 2 maps in the first 2 of your elimination series. That's quite a little hand to have there. Talking of hands, he spots one and eliminates the threat. Hats sat down, bent over Fallen's knee. They've just been blocked top mid with this smoke, right? And they don't want to push on through it. And that has actually allowed top banana control to be taken back and bolts to rotate over. So indecision from Order here has cost them a lot. They had the info on where the AWP was, but now they don't. Mid utility, FNX is in a perfect position. He needs to get at least one. I mean, he should certainly, but a perfect flashbang from Alistair sets them up for glory. A great one to claw us back into the 4-on-4, admittedly 35 and counting. There's time to go back to B if they go now. Injust through Archlight, calling this clear. A decision needs to be made. They need to pick which site. I don't know if they've got it in them to get back to B. They are starting to test the waters of this long side. Arch across 1 and 2, starting to pincer now. Bolt on Graveyard. He's going to spot out 1, eliminates Liaz, but it's going back and forth. Bolt still stubborn. 3 out of him, and low for the next. He can't find a 4th. The P2K onto Inns, and that is lovely from Bolts. Stands firm and holds fast for the first of Imperial. Beautiful stuff, right? They handled this one right here, and it all comes with that flicky little opening of Fallen there. You can see the reaggress top banana just looking for a player, maybe getting caught off guard. And this one is a bit unfortunate here for FNX because he gets the dink, and you see the dink come into play here because Bolts with a stray bullet is able to blow over Liaz. Great stuff from Bolts. These anchor plays, what he's known for, and one of the better players for Imperial on a map like Inferno, one of their home battlefields. MP9 out for FNX here. The buy is through. There's kits, there's YouTuber Order. They're looking schmick. Plenty of nades for them to take this banana control, and with haste. Yeah, and they're both up. Like, I wouldn't say uncontested, but safe. Safe from the flames, safe perhaps to fight for this. Bit of damage to bait. Oh, that's the end of that for Inns. Just rounds the corner into the AWP. They got a little bit horny for it there. Fallen will get the opening again and over towards B one more time, but the immediate reaction is not possible. There's a deep mid-smoke thrown initially from Imperial and now a shallow one to fill its place. So Order will have to start taking risks through these smokes. They're being blocked, and they have now taken this bracket control. Yeah,
that's quite a luxury to have it back so quick after the first fumble. Perhaps it's a gift that of Imperial willing to give you this and hoping it's enough rope to hang yourself. We do see the smoke. Yeah, this will completely nullify Fallen.
You can see immediately the decision that Fallen has. From Library, has to go to Arch, and Alistair's going to walk in here, needs to be very careful. Shots exchanged, they made it past, and they're through their own smoke. They're wrapping onto A.
Yeah, FNX is just locked in now. Alistair's going to tuck in, and Fur has arrived on time. Fallen ready for the next, misses that as well. Bit of a problem for Hat. Now, he's got the bomb on his back, but the whole squad is here now. You need a bit of a hero moment. Their first beheading on the side courtesy of Sicko. It's Vinny for the one. Fur's now whipping out the AWP, and oh my lord, he gets them both. Vinny and Fur down. The 1v4 with only 19 HP. Looking for an ace clutch here, Sicko. That is asking a lot of him. Oh, a tip of the head. They're advancing in unison, and it's too much to ask. A second for Imperial, and in consecutive fashion, they are starting to wake up.
Good round still, right? They get quite a few kills in a round like that. So only 2 more players surviving yet again for Imperial. This is where you want to keep them if you're Order, right? The rounds need to be competitive and you need to keep getting the bomb down. But Fallen, again, this is great. If he can stay as mobile with this as the AWP and continue to find these openings, especially as early as that came in, still a minute 30 left on the clock, when he found that opening frag with the big green, it's going to make things extremely difficult because Order in the last 2 rounds have been operating at a man disadvantage almost immediately. And that's never the place you want to find yourself early in a round. So good stuff from Imperial now to battle back in with 2 consecutive.
Fur on the screens, the Death bringing it up. I think it is an important point to kind of hammer home is that their incredible run over in the major was driven by a Fur outlandishly statistical performance. I mean, he was really ahead of his normal form.
Fur monster, I think we call it.
He was, yeah, right back, rolling back the years. So if he could find that in footing now,
it's
going to change a lot of the outcomes for Imperial. FNX yet to frag. Opportunity presents itself, 2 down, and again Order operating at a massive disadvantage. Look at Alistair, just a Tech 9. Vinny in the pit. I think they caught a whiff of him. Playing on that bike position, a nice elevated angle, but Alistair goes even higher, leaping around. It's too easy for these silenced M4s. Order can't seem to find a thing. Now, don't forget, damage perhaps the name of the game. They're into the site. They've got ground. They do need bloodshed, though. And all posted up. It seems they were too wise to that, as Alistair will just passively wait this one out. Now, the bomb is trapped under the guise of Fallen. Oh, Sicko, he's the one to step up. They were looking the wrong way, and Fur has secured the round. It's up to Alistair for damage, and damage, he is done. A 1v4 goes 1v2 in the blink of an eye. Alistair, he's got legs to this. 7 bullets in the Tech 9, and run on down before anything more can go down. He has made a round out of that.
And actually, if we're going to be fair about the adjustment from Order to go quick, they've identified this 3-man B start that Imperial have tried to get away with round after round. They do the deep smoke, they start 3B with the AWP, they look for a top banana pick, and they rotate back. That faster nature, you could see it almost caught FNX off guard, who was on the cusp of that smoke, able to get the double up. If he gets one and traded, and then the round continues to fall in that fashion, a bit more grounds for Order to work with. But a timeout called. Kingfisher, the coach, he's going to jump on the mic and probably spit some bars to get them back into this. The cash money situation should be half by territory. Loss bonus into the next. Starting to build here. We'll be getting that 2,900, and this is the double up from FNX to get him on the scoreboard and get Imperial practically their 3rd round.
And you know that conversation about these 2 M4s leveling the odds somewhat with a switch up of the bullets in the magazine for the M4A1, but you just see that 4 members of Imperial still whipping it out, and you saw Order struggling to pinpoint some of those shots in the absence of the tracer fire.
Nades up banana here, 3 of which, well, they've lobbed out 2 of the 3. Inns has the 3rd remaining, and now they'll take this banana control. And Vinny's even going to gallivant down mids and taking some pot shots at range. You got to be careful. There are some deagles on the board here.
Yeah, just a little touch of aggression here from Imperial. Not normally the response to deagles, but
feeling the bloodlust. This is a chance for everybody to, get a couple more kills in that column.
Yeah, you want to just remind yourself what you are capable of early in a best of 3.
Does go the other way, though, if a few zingers hit those domes.
How about a little cheeky boost over the smoke into a run boost flying deagle headshot? You want any of those for me, Inns?
That'd be the spectacle that we'd all be
That's what we're all here for.
Oh, he flew.
Or the alternative. about 90 damage to 2 players there. Alistair's gone down to 13 HP. The rest looks very secure here, unless you get that first bullet out of the Deagle. Yeah, Bolts is not letting that go. And he's going to collect a couple of extra frags as well. So a clean one for the CTs. And we are going to tie things up quite nicely. A single round now, the deficit for Imperial.
If you are just joining us today, we have lots of Counter-Strike elimination/progression matches. Now, this one here is elimination. The winner of this game will go on to play 0-0 Nation. Now, the reason that's quite the headline affair is because 0-0 Nation recently added a trio from Godsent, reuniting coldzera and Taco. Now, maybe you're not a Counter-Strike aficionado, but once upon a time, FNX, Fer, and Fallen were on a team with coldzera and Taco, and they won a bloody major. And they're going to go head-to-head if Imperial can win this series. So lots of Brazilian fans are going to be watching Counter-Strike tonight if the result goes that way.
Bro, yeah, that is just a grudge match / Hollywood spectacle. I really want to check out if it happens. Of course, standing in their way is Order. And not anymore is Hats. He's already gone down. Another opening for Imperial. It does seem to be quite the indicator as to how these rounds end up.
Yeah, it was pointed out by Maui about Kicker and his banana prowess. Now, we were touching on it throughout the game on the T side, even the room he was getting with the MAC-10. Not even necessarily the kills, just the space and the buffer that he was creating. And again, Order lose out an opening towards B and are forced to make the hard choice of looking for this A control. They might want to change the order, no pun, of how they're getting map control here. Maybe start with Boiler and Halls and then go back to Banana late just to avoid some of this util, but they don't really have too many choices right now.
Oof. Unfazed by the flashes, Liaz. He's actually immediately been gifted a 4-on-4 right back. Equalizing frag. The Aussies starting to make their final commitment.
But they have to be scared of the Banana aggression, right? First still alive. We've seen him pushed on down before. Bolts are still on the map as well, so both B defenders still currently reside, and you always have to keep that in the back of your mind. But they are being given a lot of respect here. Fallen starting to float Speedway. Bolts tucked in towards Emo, and Vinny and Fer as the combination. Now, Fer's low HP could be the undoing of this A site.
Smoke onto Library. That will pull the rotation of Fallen back over. And that's the util. Isolating these two, that low HP on Fer, about to meet the flame. He's going to go down immediately. A wallbang, even better, puts Vinny on notice. A lot of bodies staring him down. That was the frag, but the bomb's still loose. We've got time just in the nick of it to get that bomb down.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, okay. You see Fer in that position and you remember what Bolts did, but you know who else remembers that? Order. Right? The fact that they not only wallbanged it, but threw the Molotov there as well. Maybe they even caught a little glimpse of him in that hidey hole.
I would argue, and I don't usually speak in absolutes, but there was no option for Fer. Like, none. I mean, the flames are about to spread. You're dead in one way or the other. And it started with an opening. So this is actually Order flipping the script somewhat. Thanks to Liaz. Yeah, I think that was a great start from him. He actually builds upon it here. You can see through the replay. And Sicko was the one to win that duel just in time. I mean, Inns was punching in the digits at about 5. Very, very close stuff. Order up to 6.
An order, a round like that is going to feel very, very good, right? To win that type of round after losing the man advantage. So that is a key right there for Order to feel a little bit comfier as Imperial will take their first tactical timeout. Peacemaker, you can see him here on the screen, having an opportunity to chime in. And maybe what they want to do is discuss the buy. We've got the figures on the screen for you right now. Bolts has enough to get an AWP back in the hands of Fallen, or he could drop 2 silenced M4s in a situation like this. You've also got Vinny and FNX who are probably begging for a gun. So that might be how this one simmers on through. It depends on how much they want to prioritize the AWP. And as we can see, looks unlikely that'll be in the hands of Fallen here. The buy is going to come out, the biggest emission being the FAMAS. There are kits, there is utility. So Imperial have more often than not had something threatening in these rounds. The force buys, the save, it's been facilitated here by how they've been managing the rounds when they know they've lost them. Right. So this is good management from Imperial of their economy, but they want to start getting on the ball with a couple more rounds because Order already have 6. And I would say the analysts in the green room right now are thinking this is more than we thought Order would be getting on a map like this. Let's see how far they can push the issue here with this T side. This is a change. This is a direct change, right? They're not fighting for banana control whatsoever. They're walking up mid on contact with this AWP, and as they just get boosted up, Vinny needs to be careful about the sound cues. He may have been heard here, no joke.
It might just have been on the edge of their eardrums. We'll see if Alistair's going to be flashing, and he is. This is the same one that FNX has been eating, and
yeah, they definitely heard that,
nice,
right?
Nice
because
catch.
This was a contact walk up. It was big outside the box here. And they've drawn this mid-utility early. So, as I mentioned before, they've chopped and changed the way that they were going to get this map control. Trying to boost again and need to be careful themselves.
One of the gifts of going for that contact walk is you've got a bit more time on your hands. You can afford to respect that smoke and reset. Fallen going to have very few options in front of him here. Smoked off. Couple of stray bullets do connect to the head of Sicko. Advantage again. Opening kill again for Imperial. Can Order do it twice?
Going to be Liaz as well. He's the point man here. He's going to get mollied forward. Has to push. Has to take the fight. Fallen now running out of ammo. He's flashed off the line. They've got the space. Yeah, they're going to have to take it quickly from Fallen. He's still got a fresh mag. 3 of them coming into his domain. Light on time, and he's light on health. A no-scope out of Alistair, and they are wrapping. Fer, he's the one to cause the problems now. A hard clear. They're not ready for him. He gets 2. Another no-scope out of Alistair. Time's a big issue here.
There's still one there, right around the corner. Alistair's trying his luck. He's not going to clear the tree, and that should be round secure. Thanks to Bolts. In's just an impossible one ahead of him. And it's Bolts, the safe pair of hands. Off the back of a timeout, off the back of Peacemaker's called, we do see Imperial level the odds again.
Yeah, I understand why Order stuck with the strategy that they had called there, right? They clearly wanted to go mid to B, but when you kill Fallen on the arch side, you know that he's traditionally an A defender. He didn't have an AWP, right? So then you would be expecting Fer and Bolts to be playing P. And you have to get through just a different onslaught of players just to get through that avenue. So a risky maneuver doesn't pay off, but that arch side is clearly part of the game plan for Order. They've been going there in quite a few of these gun rounds here to either deal with this 3-man B lane or they think that it's a weaker point on the map. But it will be the second time out for Order called. This is Fallen's beautiful opening there under Sicko. You love those type of kills, but this one's not bad from Alistair either. On the no-scope, Fallen cops that one.
Between the wickets of his 2 teammates as well.
And he gets a second no-scope. We know that Alistair can be handy in these combat AWPing environments, so if they can get him in the thick of some of these late rounds, maybe that big green can sing. But knowing that they still have Order in a pretty rough position, knowing they have Imperial still in a pretty rough position with the economy, going to be some light investments here. Alistair with a hero AK-47 and a couple of deagles around this with light util, but they need to make something work as the aggression's coming in. Yeah, Bolts can either ruin it or give him a gun, and it is the latter. Oh. Another frag, catching Fer completely out with the flash. Trying to call it back is FNX. He can't see him. I think Alistair's got a bit of an advantage here upon the dismount. No, he gets away though. Chipped on down to 33, but they can completely reset this. And there's pace behind this, Chad. Look at this. They're looking to isolate. All on Vinny here.
The lone pit player. They know Vinny plays pit, plays apps. Using that low HP to get the info. Pushes Vinny back into the apartments. Nice chip damage on the nade. Liaz's trying to reposition as well, but the bomb will be going down regardless. They've got a double pit set up for the post plant. Oh, wow, yeah, In's a good catch from our ops team as well. He is lying in wait to catch Vinny on the reposition. Oh, and that's a catch and a half. Liaz just the very tip of Vinny's hair, and that's enough to secure the round.
I'm quite impressed with what we're seeing here. Now, look, it could be Imperial, or it could be Order playing well. Let's live in the world where it's Order playing well. That one there makes me feel with a bit more joy. But that was beautiful stuff, right? Bolts with the aggression. This is one of the risky things when you want to play an anti-eco or a suspected anti-eco in an aggressive manner. You either batter them and you go, yeah, look, what are you going to do about it? We got the bigger guns, we're in your face. Or you have a bit of a slip-up and you give away an opening kill, and then Alistair finds one through the smoke, and then you regroup, you play as a team, you pace up, you trade efficiently, and you get the bomb down, you win a massive round like that.
I mean, this one, like, this is no fault of Fer. Really, excuse me, it was, I believe it was Fer or FNA.
Yeah, it was Fer, you were right.
Yeah, but it's no fault of Fer, but the loss of that M4, seeing that in the feed as they're looking for the 3v4 retake, yeah, there's Bolts, and he's going through those exact thoughts.
Yeah.
Right there, it's like, I didn't need to do that, did I? I didn't.
And that's curious, right? Because sometimes those type of calls come from a player who has a spawn. He says, yeah, listen, boss, I'm going to charge down mid. Sometimes the boss says, you're going to charge down mid, and maybe you're not feeling it, and maybe it goes like that.
Start pulling that Tabson face.
Yeah, right. That was pretty funny. Did you see the clip on Reddit?
I didn't see the clip.
There's a clip on Reddit. It's like, I should find the name of it here, but it's quite funny. It's Tabson giving someone a bit of a shellacking, and then the way that Sirison looks at the camera, it's...
Is it like The Office, you know?
Exactly like The Office. A little bit like Jim,
yeah, okay.
Precisely.
Oh,
this is it.
7, boys. Yeah, 7.
Could be the half win right here. I think Imperial is still in this one. We might see a little bit more of them playing as a unit in a round like this.
Yeah, nice util from Vinny. You can see what that does nullify. No access for the mid fight. Doesn't stop him progressing apps though, so just your standard crawl. Furcock and some util to retake that banana util late.
Well, this is what they found success with before, right? Fallen with the AWP over towards B, finding opening picks, and it feels like Order have made that necessary adjustment. They're not pressuring top banana. They're actually, well, walking up middle again, and this is the right call.
Hello, more util pulled out. That's the second smoke deployed. Still 3 in the coffers for Imperial, and now information flows. Fur confirms, no one home, top banana.
It's going to force Bolts now to get on this rotation over towards A. It's all going to come down to the timing here. We can see Order starting to set up some util here. And as I say that, they slide all the way back down mid. The rotation has come as they wanted. Top mid getting called clear. FNX says nobody home. Now the pressure's on Fallen. He's going to get mollied. Oh, no, he's not. He can stand and fight. Yeah,
he's going to stand around. And I mean, if he goes down, it is kind of sink or swim right here, right now. The molly, not going to sell much. Oh, you can see that it was hanging in the balance of a really good decision or a really bad one.
4v5 on the A side. Here we go.
They're in the right place. Imperial looking to close that gap. Can Order win out the T-half? It's a good flash. In's caught out, and he does adjust. Bolt's power position, but kept honest. It's Fur to go unchecked. He's got a real opportunity. It's only the one on the SMG. And there it is, an 8-5 half as it stands.
You brought this up earlier, right? It's not Order having any issues with putting the crosshairs and pulling the trigger, right? And you saw just there, they just obliterated everybody that came onto their screen. Sure, a little bit of an opportunity for Ins on their art side, but the next two that came in were quick. Yeah, completely blind. Doing
that sounds like an enemy right next to me.
But you see that one quick from Hats onto that frag. The next kill that comes in from Ins, he's just going to bomb the pit player, right? So you see the aim's there, and they just got away with murder because they were going into the stack bomb site. Sure, lower weaponry, but this is Order winning out the half. 8 rounds. As soon as this bomb goes off, and Fallen is going to be given the opportunity to save this AWP. But if they can avoid him, if they can just avoid the big green, they're not going to have any issues.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that way, does it? And this is just rolling out a red carpet for Order to take their map pick. And I'm sure the desk will have a couple of interesting insights as to how when this went wrong for Imperial.
Do you want to know how much worse it's going to get for Imperial here? Because just coming into this round, they only had the 1900 loss bonus. They had that spree, right, where they had 5 out of 6 rounds come into their favor, which brought their loss bonus where they started the game at the top end all the way back down to the bottom. So the fact that they have now lost these consecutive rounds in fashion means they're bottom of the barrel late in the half. That is the worst place to find yourself on the CT side because, as you can see, you're taking an eco on round 14.
Bolts didn't want armor, but he does get an incendiary. So he's rocking a P250 and a can of flame. But very few opportunities for Imperial to flip this script. They would love to see that all tested and utilized. It's Fallen who saved it over towards B site, but I don't think there's any rush. There's no air of speed here from Order. They don't need to take any risks.
It surprises me to say this, but they've also been somewhat diligent with their utility usage as well, especially towards top mid. Double nades again, we've seen this one before and nobody home. So with the demos that they've been watching, that's clearly a position that they wanted to target. Top mid flash from Alistair, and he needs to be the most careful. AWP sings Fur down, and another player noted close boiler. Vinny tucks in, and FNX is segregated by the molly.
Yeah, Liaz is ready for this exact opportunity. Now we do see the AWP in the feed. Has gone down, and that's the end of the round. I mean, look at that. Sure, you get the information where the only threat was, but in the process, you've lost your entire A defense. Look how diligent they are, clearing every nook and cranny. Do not want to be caught out by any hijinks as you get that bomb down.
This is really good stuff now. You can't hide the fact. This is 9 rounds, T side. It is their map choice, but it is home territory for a team like Imperial here. Now, I'm curious if they want to start getting a move on for a chase to remove that AWP. You heard me note the loss bonus earlier. With only 2,400 coming into the bank balance into the next, if they were able to rip this AWP out of Fallen's hands, might have a drama getting it into the next round of play. So you can see Liaz and Sicko, they already made their way down towards T-spawn, making sure they're not hiding in their own home. Bolts is the one they have to clear over towards Sandbag and Top Banana, who's been able to scavenge this AK, and ripping away either of these guns could be massive.
They've found the best setup to defend it. Now they've baited the shot, and oh dear. Bolts has lost his rifle and Fallen next on the chopping block. They are light on time, but trying their luck. I'm not sure how far they'll push it. Sicko trying to avenge Liaz's death, but it was in vain. Still, Fallen only saving that AWP, and a 9th already next to Order's name.
Well, this is fantastic for Imperial to carry through to at least get them 6, right? Because you could see how much they wanted to hunt that AWP there. So if we're looking at positives for the Brazilian side right now, the AWP stays in the hands. That means they can get the buy behind this. I'm sure Vinny would have loved to have had an M4 dropped on the floor. And there is one equipped now. So, yeah, they will be getting away with this one here. A full buy for the final round with 1 defuse kit and light on nades. But Imperial, we need to see something before we go to half-time.
Sicko made a conscious choice to entry frag with the silenced M4. And he is up so early. Good God, it doesn't get quicker than that. He's cleared sandbags and pressuring site 1 minute 40. Well aware of the retake protocols, they will, wow, actually tuck back in. Well aware of what was coming their way. It's cost them nothing. Not a point of damage inflicted to regain this control. It's a question now of if they can fight back and deny that info. That one will leave a mark. Good nade. It's Drew. Rotation in. 3 CTs lying in wait now to receive this reclear. Alistair walks on in, misses his chance, but that's the bodyguard of Hats, and he does get 2. Straight on in now. Fallen, they know he was here. I don't know if they got that info, but with CT smoked, his opportunities null. And indeed in the void, as this is the last round of the half, they'll commit. Order, surely pre-aiming this. It's another for Hats. He's had around there 3 before he's finally silenced and subdued. Fallen equipped now with a much better weapon to make this 2v3 realistic. Oh, it ends. Last bullet of the mag finds the head of him. Fallen, 2 frags to his name and more required of him. Low now as the rotate from Vinny arrives top banana. Vinny does have to be the playmaker here. Fallen going to be providing perhaps a trade, perhaps a bait. We'll find out as Vinny now progresses up. Paul, it's Alistair that wants to take first contact. And he hits it. A quick flick to Vinny will make it 10. What a half out of order. And that idea of seeing Brazilian on Brazilian action hanging a little further away with the performance we're seeing today from the Oceanic squad.
Yeah, Order looking to play spoiler here, and neither team with a big grin on their face. Both here to take care of business, but this is fantastic from the Oceanic squad. Counter-Strike, we haven't seen from them in years. Let's see if they can continue this form after the break.
Hey Future Pros, sometimes in CS you just want to get aggressive and take the fight straight to the enemy. I'll use this mid push from Astralis to demonstrate a reasonably good approach to get up in the faces of your foes on Inferno. It really helps if you're keeping track of the T's economy, as doing this against a fully bought T side will have varying results. This strategy requires 3 Future Pros, 2 HEs and an AWP. Future Pro number 1, you'll be the player who pushes deep into mid. As you make your way to mid, get your HE out and lob it down mid. This makes sure that if anyone does face you, then they will already have taken some damage. Make sure to push along the right side of the wall so you don't get killed by a T holding steps. Tuck yourself into this corner and listen for any noise or calls from your teammates. When Future Pro 3 has made some kind of contact towards T steps, this is your cue to peek out and hopefully get a free kill. After this contact, keep your head on a swivel, as multiple Ts could be about to flood out ult mid or T steps. Future Pro number 2. You will mostly be holding ult mid, but first throw this HE just as Future Pro 1 does. Once you have thrown your HE, it is possible for Ts to be close to you already from ult mid, so be ready for a fight. You can cycle between holding mid and ult mid depending on how the Ts are pushing. Be confident in your aim and quickly process any information you receive. Future Pro number 3, you'll be holding T steps from the top of mid with an AWP. Your role is to relay information to your team and act as support so your fellow Future Pros can't be singled out. And that's it. Going aggressive as a CT is always a risk, but if you and your lads are feeling dominant, this can be a great way to control the flow of a match. It could completely fail as well, and if it does, I don't want to hear anything in the comments. Get some DM in instead and keep improving.
beautiful T-Haul. No one who plays Counter-Strike would be complaining with a 10-round haul on your T side of Inferno, even against legends of the game. We do have the South Americans in attendance. It's Fer, FNX, Fallen, Vinny, and Bolts. And they've got a bit of a mammoth task ahead of them. This is first map. It's Order's pick. Eyebrows were raised, seeing Vertigo banned and Ancient floated, and Order did not opt for it, didn't take the risky route. We find themselves on comfortable soil, but that was demonstrated with a 10-round haul.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? I thought they were going to get blown out of the water after the way that the video went. I thought, okay, well, right. Comfort zone, and let's just get this done. Let's get to the Cold Zero Taco versus the Fallen FNX and Fer matchup that Brazil wants to see. Now, we'll just let everybody know the reason the player's looking a bit more casual right now is because we have just had a little bit of a technical boo-boo, but we will be getting everybody back in the server and getting things underway ASAP. Now, there's one thing to have a 10-5 T-Haul on Inferno, and there's another to win the map. And then, if they win the map, a conversation can truly begin about Order later in the day taking on 0-0 Nation, who surprised everybody with their victory against Astralis. But I want to put this on everybody's radar here. 0-0 Nation are a new team, right? I like to think that he's definitely one for the future from the Brazilian scene, don't get me wrong. But it sets Order up with a big confidence-building win that may even see them carry that momentum through to later today if they're good at reserving their energy, or conserving, to take on 0-0 Nation and somehow miraculously qualify for the group stage. So that is the fantasy world that we're apparently all living in right now. Right. Let's see if that manifests, because the idea at the first event that 0-0 Nation comes together with Taco and Cold Zero to take on Imperial, that's what we wanted to see with like the Astralis and Vitality stuff, right? We wanted to get that in, but it took us a little while. The fact that that is even manifested is a game that would just be shamed that we would get robbed, because it's an elimination game and a qualification game at the same time. And to think about the history with those boys, I mean,
it would not only feel like kind of, you know, settling a score a little bit, but it's also, it's changing hands. Like 0-0 Nation has taken a long time to have anything worth remarking on.
And they had to take Godsend stuff, didn't they?
They had to, and they had to take Godsend's gods. Yeah. Not only that, but like Taco, Doomao, they've got that a good vibe amongst themselves. But then you've also got Cold Zero really reunited with Taco, and you throw in Try, who I think all of us, when we saw him first show up 9Z, etc., it was like, okay, this kid's got some cojones. Throw it all in the right mix. It could be, like, I would see that head-to-head as a changing of the guard. Like, okay, it's our turn now.
I think it was a pretty good conversation, and down the direction that you're going with this, Maui brought up the fact that Taco is a better in-game leader than what Cold Zero was, right? And I agree with that
I wouldn't argue that.
And the other issue was Godsend had this scenario where they were always handing the AWP off, and they tried to fill that void by bringing Henny in, but things didn't really immediately hit the ground running. So by having somebody like Try come in, who you've just mentioned, definitely has that ability, you kind of mend the two problems that the team had, the experience and I would say the camaraderie and everything that Cold Zero and Taco bring. They can now have that with the other three of them, and we can really see how far this team can go, because this is the first event, right? This is the pure honeymoon. So it's exciting, but I want to see how much more.
What I'll say is 0-0 Nation prior to those two arriving in the ranks,
VSM,
yeah, exactly. It just felt like it was like kind of the old school of thinking, where it's like, yeah, we're gangsters, we're just going to shoot their heads and we're just going to look cool and buy chains with our first paycheck. And now it's much more grounded, like Godsend, Doomao especially, Taco especially, had this lovely kind of, they were always coming up with new ideas. Every time we'd watch a Godsend game, we'd see something a bit fun and quirky and relevant. And talking of relevant, MIBR 1 round away now from that first in their series.
Yeah, and this is what I think we were expecting here. Tai Lu are having some teething issues as well. It would be great to see them doing what actually we're seeing Order do right now. They have obviously Letney in there as the new coach of the team. Bentet's now been there, back there for a little bit of time. But this is only map number 1. Looks like it would have been Tai Lu's pick with them now on the CT side here, but just not looking like they're able to get anything going. And if you want to check out this action, you can head over to live.intellectstreammasters.com, which will have all the different streams available for you in all the different languages. Or you can just head over to twitch.tv/ESL_CSGOB, I believe it is. So I've been studying my URLs this morning, but we've been studying how good our League Ops team is. The players are back ready in the server to go. Our apologies for the slight delay.
It is a bit like an F1 pit stop. I reckon our crew could take them when it comes to...
Definitely with the monitor changes.
Yeah, if you had the Ferrari team of F1 try and change a monitor faster than the ESL team, I reckon I'd back ESL every day of the week. Those boys are speedy when it comes to those DisplayPort cables. It's hard with the clip, you know. Sometimes the thumb just, man, a real bugger. But here we go. We are heading into our second half of the first map of our second day of play. It's the play-ins. Win 2, you're in. Lose 2, you're out. Order Imperial first on the chopping block.
You see Alistair's mouth moving after the little jump, and info play from him nets them a slight little glimmer into what Imperial might have in store. The 2 smokes, the 2 flashes, and the molly can be deployed in a bunch of different ways, and I think that is the plan here from Imperial. Wait and see if there's any aggression. Flash forward, Hat's going to fight here, takes a step out, has a chance, but yikes. That's a double from Vinny.
Oh, it looked so promising, and 2 clicks is all he gets before Vinny punishes them brutally, and I don't think this... Oh, he is not stopping. He is not stopping. Vinny has plucked 3 out of the pistol round. The rest got very little to be done. There's not really been any damage dealt back. Order, watch as the 6th transpires.
And this is where I would like them to do what Fur and Bolts did on the pissed round from Imperial, where they keep their Kevlar and buy Famuses. But you know what else is pretty good? Trying to retake the B bomb site in a 2v5 situation.
Yeah, I mean, who needs a threatening second?
Now that is the first actual footfall of a bad decision I think we've seen Order make.
And it took them 16 rounds for it to occur.
Yeah, like they couldn't explain to... You sit them down, you put them under a light, and you say, boys, why did you go for this 2v5 retake on the B bomb site? Whereas if you saved your Kevlar, you could have bought Famuses. They'll go, yeah, we shouldn't have done that.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're onto something.
So that is quite genuinely the first mistake that they have made so far, but great round from Vinny.
Well, let's see if the Deagles and the 5-7s can do what those Fami could have. So going for those early 3-man leans towards B, we saw Imperial employing a similar strategy. Very, very far on the run. Boozy straight across. Not that much nade damage to report.
No, but this 2-man stack on the sandbag, look at the level of elevation that Sicko has here. Towering from this position, but top mid garnered. Fur with a lot of space early, and is going to take this AK for a little bit of a look.
That's info, but they... Oh, what Fur with some confidence here, and he's being bodyguarded by FNX. One has slipped through. A long-range Deeg puts Fur down on Speedway. And now, ooh, you're really doubting yourself now. You've swallowed an aid, swapping the weapons. This is supposed to be Imperial's round.
Okay, really big issues with this low HP, and they're in no man's land. Inz has another shot to hit the Deagle and get something lethal. Now he's been put on notice. Fallen takes the jewel, sends him packing back towards the stack, towards the B bomb site. But Imperial, they're turning their attention towards A.
They've still got that boost on Banana, and it's just so far from the action. Oh, nice again. These 5-7s quite pesky at range as well. Bolt on Moto, run down and flanking in. Inz with some heavy impact. Hard-hitting Deagle action. Liaz lays down the lure as well. A man advantage as the bomb is planted. Nice after-plant position. Bolts to bait, Fallen to clutch.
They're surrounded now.
It is going to be from Apps as well. Great headshot. Sicko cut down to size. Still pit locked in, and it is that Apps to finish. Running out of chances now are the Aussies. A Deagle, a single headshot, all they ask, and now an AK in play. Hats to clutch, and not happening on Bolts' watch. A 1v2 essentially. Fallen is watching. And there you have it. Imperial do manage to convert. It was threatening.
Yeah, they looked pretty casual about that there, didn't they, Imperial? It did get very, very threatening with this shot here from Inz. Makes his way around the corner, just one Deag's Fur in the head. I'm sure he wanted to use that nade to actually try and propel the weapon in his direction, but did a lot of damage. I think Liaz did a great job with the survivability there in pit, but I've slightly misread the radar there. I thought Hats would have been coming up that lane position. I think he wanted to get his hands on the gun, but if he'd come up short behind, could have been different. And Alistair with these cheeky aggressive moves has been finally stalled on out. Big nades down the pocket, 16 points of health, and a certainty for the 8th hit for Imperial.
I mean, Fallen outlining that he'd not only watched the demo, but had some heavy critiques of how they approached their T-side just yesterday.
Looks like they have more intent today already.
So we'll get to see how that polish has been applied and how far it will help them fly. Smokes are up and slowly just going to methodically pick apart these unarmored pistols. Trying his luck, it makes sense. Sicko doesn't have anything else to really rely upon other than the element of surprise.
Yeah, this one is more than done. It's crazy how quick a 10-5 half becomes a 2-round deficit. You know, this really shows you the power of the pistol rounds in Counter-Strike. And obviously, it's not just the pistol round. There's the follow-on 2 rounds that come with it. The force buy with the potential saves, or the force buy win, and then the force buy wars ensue, right? So there's always a different pattern of how these games can start, but the best outcome for Imperial is unfolded.
Yeah, and I do think that, you know, as Counter-Strike continued to be played, I mean, it's been played an awfully long time, that we lost the absolute 3-0s. You know, it used to be presented as an absolute 3-0 through people really workshopping and thinking through not only through some of the weapons you could buy, but also the ways you could approach those rounds and those, as you highlighted in the order pistol, those saves, those ways in which you could manufacture the best case scenario for rounds 2 and 3.
Yeah, Valve have definitely helped us with the economy change. So all of those things combined give us this more, I want to say, interesting start to games. But Imperial now looking to get the map control. Fer and FNX, the rifling duo in second mid, but it's Vinny. It is Vinny, top mid, through the smoke, onto ins, dead meat. Hats gets one back in the trades. We haven't seen anybody. Well, actually, we've seen everybody, but they've seen nobody, and 2 bodies are in the grave, a minute 25 on the clock.
Yeah. What is Body doing these days?
He is playing for Heat.
Heat?
Yeah.
Double pony into Heat?
4-on-4 here for Imperial, a situation that you'd be happy to find yourself in, and making their way back through spawn. Hats is having a little bit of a pickup from Util that smoked the molly. It is going to be fantastic crown control potential as long as smoked off.
Oh, now would be a perfect time. Yeah, Hats has got it out in time. Flames are down. Going to rot some time off of that constantly decreasing clock. We're at 50. Fallen Fer and FNX. What a trio advancing up to mid. It's up to Alistair. And that'll slip by the wayside, a nice wide peak for across the line. And I mean, now you've got to work it out if it's worth it. It was. Catches him off with a re-aggression. Takes confidence. It's a risk, but it's rewarded.
Alistair special right there, and now falling back towards B. They're going to leave FNX on this lurk. He might get caught with a nade out. Hats is going to note that, pushes forward, calls it clear, but Alistair's aggression again. It's towards B, and Hats is rotating on over. Vinny has to crack this one open.
2-on-4. Sicko, not going to be smoked, and they are just lining up for him. A bit of a hectic spray, so not immediately closed out. Fallen does not really have the health to do too much. He would love a plant for the cash, and that's not going anywhere. 11, quick back to their winning ways. Order find the 4th round of this second half.
Okay, well, important gun round to win, and great little maneuvers there from Alistair. This is what he is known for, those type of plays. Sometimes the leash snaps and he ends up in orbit,
a dog park across the neighborhood,
right? And he's got rabies and nobody wants him there. But this is perfect. This is exactly what you wanted to see here. So great little 2-piece feed there from Alistair. But one slips past Imperial after the freebie opening top mid. Vinny into a Mac 10. Good spawn here for Banana. We might see him gallivant up with a bit of speed. Fallen's big green posted up mid. Oh, the push coming through.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's costly. And he's hiding in plain sight. He can actually... Oh, that
now,
molly.
come on now.
He's bullied himself. Just staring in the mirror, shouting expletives. 28 HP. And that will cancel his aggressive banana maneuvers.
Look at this in mid, though. Anti-flash here from Liaz.
Yeah, Inz has got vision too, so it's up to Fer here. Gets the info on the jiggle. Still a hard fight with both of them here, and it's going to be Liaz that reigns supreme. 3 frags in the feed from Order, and there's more where that came from. Liaz with a 3-man shutdown of middle, and a 12th very quickly following the 11th.
Yeah, looking good now. Bolt's damage name of the game in a round like this with a minute on the clock. Maybe he wants to hold on to the AK-47, but tries to make the way up Banana, and does. Sicko falls, and that's a good first frag. Hats low on HP is the next responder towards B. There is a chance to get the bomb down. Oh, didn't see him. Didn't see him.
Played. Oh, I thought he had a second more for the plant.
Yeah, that's not one you want to give up there just because of an overclear, right? That fountain, let's be honest, it actually does obscure the vision quite a lot. You got to kind of glue those little spectacles in. But this double setup worked perfectly because they noted the position of Ins first. And then they stepped out wider, and Liaz is like, well, you didn't account for me, did you? And Liaz, with a nice round here, Liaz is the player with the most experience for the Order side. Once upon a time playing with 100 Thieves, went deep in the majors.
That's crazy that the kid I remember when he arrived was the new blood on the block, and now he's the veteran in the squad. It's begun swings and roundabouts in Counter-Strike. Just Eagles, or not even, actually. Peak 250s and Glocks. So 13 looms, and there's their doom. Bolts, Fallen, and Vinny added to the naughty list of round 21.
Good confidence building around here as well, and you can see them surging forward. So 13 going to be notched on the board in a moment's time as Fer and FNX are just loitering at this point. We're going to put them 3 rounds away here from picking up their own map choice. And as we move forward, it will be Mirage followed by Nuke. But this is a different looking order than the one we've come to expect, and it's a team-based victory right now. 15 kills for Alistair at the high end, and the low end is 13, and that's 3 of the players in Sicko and Hats, with the sandwich of Liaz between. That shows you just how close the fragging distribution is right now, whereas Imperial, FNX having a bit of a rougher time here, only 5 frags to his name, the high end being Bolts with 16. Guns back out, no AWP available here, and maybe a change of pace as 3 players quickly make their way up second mid. Fallen might even be spamming from that balcony position. No, he's just going to jump on down, so quick towards A, 4 will move. I want to surge over towards Alistair here with that AWP.
That's an AWP in boiler. I mean, that is one way to do it, and it's worked. Gets the opening. More aggressive than usual and gets away. He has been a thorn in Imperial's side. Catches flak. Nice from Fallen. So the pressure will be applied, and that smokes up in time. A pot shot, maybe one more. Fallen slip in the net now. Hats is set for this. That's a lock. Yeah, easy. Knocks the beret off of the leader of Imperial. Progress from FNX, quiet so far, but up in the apps, and Alistair tries his luck. He actually does clip the wings of Bolts. Down to 17, Liaz. And Crossfire with his AWP.
Couple of questions though, but they're just walking up lane here. This is going to be explosive.
Looking to finish. Collateral damage from Alistair. Takes all 4. Order touching distance now of knocking down Imperial into that 1-0.
This is fantastic stuff from Liaz. He's found his range, right? And what I want to explain with this is Alistair has these flashy moments. That's the AWPer that everybody wants to be. But the AWPer that everybody should be is the one that finds the pick, falls back, takes the line, and does it again. And this is the type of highlight that I would want my AWPer to have in his catalog. I don't want the one where he's pushing down, he's getting a crazy 1-on-5, and it means nothing because we lose 16-4. I want him to seal the deal, get me round number 14, and throw Imperial down to pistols. Beautiful start. Not
only the opening, Chad, not only the opening, but the collateral close. That's dreamy. That is dreamy. Tech-9s. Tech-9s, some smoke grenades, and a bruised ego. Imperial step into round 23 on death's door.
And you want to know what has helped facilitate that? Order denying the bomb going down in these 4 consecutive rounds. Loss bonus has been building, but no plants means the extra money goes missing, and that's why a buy like this comes out. So another pocket strategy likely to be run here.
That's bang on the noggin.
This is the most dangerous round for Order.
Yeah, they cannot succumb to these pistols. You don't want to be giving away weapons. We saw what happened with a little touch too much aggression from Bolts.
And they also started 3B with this A attack coming in. Alistair and Liaz, they have been solid, but they need to be rock hard right now.
Yeah, they just dropped 2 smokes at the same time, simultaneously blocking off apartments and mid, which is exactly what you want to see with the mini-map shaping up as it currently is. These Tech-9s, powerful in numbers. And ouch, maybe not when they're battered and bruised by the nades. FNX swallows another. Towards the apartments, Bolts is likely going to be throwing out the util. You can see he's got his lineup set.
This is beautiful from Order. Full banana control, so they're passive on A. They are ready to deal with this explosion.
Ready, waiting, and flashed. Oh, but still Liaz firm, and that will be 15. Nothing to be done. A shutdown again, as it is now touching distance. 7 opportunities, 7 map points, Chad.
Another note here, if you have been watching Renegades and obviously their development into Order, getting fired up in situations like this and doing a lot of yelling, maybe they watched too much of me, would have been something that was high on the priority list. When Alistair once upon a time would have got a round like that, he would have been losing it, right? And I think the fact that they are having a good time, but they're staying focused, they're celebrating enough, is keeping them in this zone. Now, if they smash, this is a smashing. If it's a 16-8, that's a smashing. That's a drubbing and aggression again. Alistair this time over towards B. AWP is noted. The sound cue will be dialed through the Imperial ranks. He has been forced on back, but Hats wants to fill that position as Vinny comes looking.
Vinny's good at this. Vinny's very good at being cheeky at the half wall, but he is low. Down to 42. Reveals himself with the tracer fire. Things may cool off as the Flames force Hats to respect him. Decisions to be made. Common assumption is when you hear that AWP early, it might be leaving, but on Hatz's glance, that might be the case. Deep banana smoke, and that's the end of Bolts. The highest flyer for Imperial, and they are taking a lot of space. Okay, they're gonna have to react to this. Liaz, Inns, as well as this rotation. Inns takes them both down on long. Bomb secure, and likely the drubbing. Locked in, not even ready. Vinny pants, and that is gonna be a spotless close unless Fer can pull anything out of their hat. Yeah, it does put a blemish on the record, but this looks to be a secured 16-8 start to this elimination series.
Yeah, he would have to do something outside of this world right now for to keep his team in it. Time ticking on down, 20 seconds just left off the clock, and Sicko, he's going to get it done. The Aussies have to be happy with that, Alex. When was the last time you saw these boys playing this level of CS? Honestly,
I cannot recall. It was just so safe, so calculated, so European.
What we wanted to see. I think all the Aussies up late right now, actually, it's probably bang on peak time watching this, have to be more than happy with the performance they're seeing. And the idea of 0-0 Nation versus Imperial, we might not be getting that one today.
Hold your horses, smile, enjoy it.